So hi, so it's Ken again. So we're here to do another We're All in This Together well-being film for ATTFE. So let's get straight into it. So in the last film, we worked on our waist turning, the waist turning gong. So we're going to go through that. We're going to get into our posture first, make sure we're connecting with our center, with our deep frontal line. We're moving from our core, even though the core is kind of an outdated term now, our deep frontal line. So I want you to bring your feet flat together here. If you really struggle with your feet flat together, you can go out a little bit wider, but try and keep your feet parallel to each other. But I'm going to have my feet flat together here. And I want you to visualize a ball in your belly. A fist-sized ball, about 3 fingerlets below the belly button and in the center of the body, closer to the spine than to the front of the body. And I want you to tense or clench this fist-sized ball, and I want you to use that to sink the ribs on the front of the body and to push the sacrum ever so slightly forward. So try and flatten the lower back. Really make sure you're engaging your deep frontal line. The deep frontal line is a band of connective tissue and muscles that travels from the inside of the ankle and the heels all the way up, the inside of the legs, the back of the legs, up into the pelvic floor, then all the way up through the inside of the rib cage and connects into the neck, the back of the head and into the tongue. Your central axis. So that fist-sized ball is at the very center of your deep frontal line. I want you to feel as if you're clenching or tensing that fist-sized ball, like you're holding in a bit of flatulence, and use that to start to rock your body forwards and backwards, rocking the body forwards and backwards, just rocking. So this is, you're moving from your center, you're not moving from the ankles, moving through the ankles, just rocking, rolling through. So I work a lot with the anatomy trains inside the body and the myofascia. And this connective tissue, this web of connective tissue, the white connective tissue inside the body surrounds and connects everything inside your body. The web, but unlike a spider's web, it doesn't have to connect to something other than itself to keep itself lengthened. It should be threaded around the inside of the body in such a way that it keeps itself lengthened and taut. But the way that we live our life, if we live it in an unhealthy way, we don't use our bodies efficiently or as much as they should be used, this web can go out of balance. You can have slackness in some areas and overtension in other areas, and this can cause what they call mismatched disorders inside the body. Your body doesn't move in the way that it should move. So you're rolling here, moving from your center, rocking, rolling from the feet or through the feet, rolling from the heels towards the toes, and you feel, hopefully you'll feel, it's kind of as you're rolling from the heels towards the toe, you roll from the inside to the outside of the foot as well when you're going forwards. And outside to in as you're going backwards, or no, not really outside to in as you're going backwards. Roll from the big toes towards the outside of the foot as you're going backwards as well. So you get this rocking, so you get this forward and backwards rocking, but you also get a side to side rocking. And this is really important for our gait, for our walking, that you should go forwards and backwards when you're going forwards and roll from inside to outside. This rocking triggers a chain reaction of stabilizing events up through the body that put your body into the right position so that you have stability when you are walking around in this amazing upright bipedal gait. So tense and clench, and then push up onto your tiptoes. Pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. And watch for places where your structure might buckle. I know my head has probably gone out of view here. But watch for places where your structure might buckle. Maybe you're curving in the lower back so much so you're doing this. Or you're going forwards, your head's too far forward. So sink the ribs, sink the chest, head nice and upright. Then lower yourself down. Lower yourself down. And just have a bit of a wriggle. Make sure you've got this flexibility of the waist. Okay, so I'm going to turn around. I'm doing a step out to the side, so don't turn around, just keep facing forwards. Turn your toes out to the side so you have as if the feet were on the face of a clock. So the left foot will be pointing somewhere between 10 and 11, right foot somewhere between 1 and 2. Arms relaxed down by your side. Keep a small gap underneath each armpit. You can clutch your fingers onto your thighs, but keep a small gap underneath each armpit. At least let the air get to your armpits. Then I want you to, moving from that ball in the belly at your center, sink the weight of the body onto the right leg. Drop the weight of the body down through the very center of the foot. You have an arch along the soles of the foot. And goes like this. You drop the weight of the body onto that and feel it flattening out. And drop the weight of the body down through the very center of that. So expand your arms out to the side, so your palms are facing behind you. Head up, and turn the waist to your left. And hopefully you feel the elasticity of that web inside the body, and you release it and you just push that left foot out to the side. Turn the waist to your right to turn the left toes in. Push across from the right to left leg. Turn your waist to your left to turn the right toes in, and settle down in the center. Settle down in the center. And you should have your feet about the same distance as your hips or your shoulders apart. Feet parallel to each other. If you didn't get that, adjust your feet now. Okay, so you feel like you have a long ponytail on the top of the head. Imagine this is tied up to the ceiling, tied up to the ceiling. You're tensing and clenching, pushing the sacrum forwards, but this area feels like it's hanging down from that suspension from above. Hanging down plumb there. And at the same time, feel like you're sitting down. So you have this groove at the top of the legs, where the legs meet the buttocks here, this groove, this gluteal sulcus. Feel like you're tucking under and sitting down. And releasing and relaxing into your legs like you would if you were sitting down. So you're not locking your legs out, but you're not sitting too low. You want to be sitting into that, the connectivity between that web of connective tissue and your skeleton, sitting into it. So you're loading up that elastic connective tissue like elastic bands that are stretching. Or like the bowstring on a bow and arrow. You're sitting into it, using the body's mass to load up. So hopefully you do feel the spring, the elasticity of the connective tissue. Okay, this is good biotensegrity. Put your mind, your awareness, your thoughts, your intent into that ball in the belly and just start to turn it from side to side. So I went into a lot of details in the last film in these waist turning exercises. A lot of details. So I'm not going to go into as much detail. I'm not going to do it as long in this session as we did in the last one there. So if you do want to do more of the waist turning, hopefully you have been practicing what you learned in the last video, the waist turning gong. So do that, do your preferred length of time of the waist turning exercises before you do what we're going to do in this film. What we're going to do in this film, we're going to do some stretching. We're going to do what I was taught as the Dao Yin stretches. Dao Yin was the name of, I believe, of Qigong before it was called Qigong. If you're not familiar with all this stuff, you think Dao Yin, Qigong, what's all that about? So Dao Yin, Dao is the way, Taoism, and Gong is work. Oh no, Dao Yin is, so Dao Yin, the way of Yin. And Qigong, Qi is energy or breath, and Gong is work. So we're going to do some Dao Yin or some Qigong stretching today. So turning, first we're doing this one, turning the waist. Turning. In these waist turning exercises, make sure your knees are staying in line with the toes. The movement is happening here in the waist. You're moving through the pelvic area, this area that we'll call the Qua in Tai Chi, the energy gate. So you want to be doing it like this. So as you're turning onto the supporting leg, you're allowing this area to fold in. Okay? If you hold a lot of habitual tension in your body as you try to turn onto the leg, that supporting leg, the tension in this area will bounce you out prematurely. And you're slipping into doing it like this, which is okay. That is something that I do practice. I think I did teach it in the last waist turning exercises, but you want to decide when that elasticity is released from your body, not it's dictated by the bad posture and bad connectivity and lack of awareness of your body as well. We're really drawing awareness to our bodies. These amazing human bodies. They are amazing, no matter how you think your body doesn't work correctly or in the right way. These human bodies are amazing. I do believe in evolution, and I believe it took millions of years of evolution to get where we are today as Homo sapiens, as human beings, as the dominant species on the planet. There's been over 100 billion of us so far on the planet, over 100 billion. And these bodies are amazing. They propelled us from being a prey animal a couple of 100,000 years ago to being the dominant species on the planet. So these bodies are amazing. They're not the strongest bodies of all the animals. They're not the fastest. They're quite vulnerable. But we've got these big brains, these big human brains, these problem-solving brains. And these brains that help us to collaborate with other human beings and work things out and create. We've created this amazing world that we have today with these big brains and these not so strong and fast bodies, but yeah, they are adaptable, and we can swim, we can run, we've taught ourselves how to fly. Yeah, we populate every part of the surface of the planet pretty much. Yeah, so we are a pretty amazing species, and these bodies are amazing. Our vehicles through life, but you need to make sure that you're looking after your vehicle. I mean, if your car breaks down, if you're a driver and your car breaks down, you know how you can't get around and how it affects everything you do. Your body's the same. If you have issue with your body's getting around, if you have problems with your bodies, then you have trouble getting around. So look after your bodies. Learn how they work. Learn how to use them to their most efficient. Use them really efficiently. But I'm just rattling, aren't I? Rattling. So just let this settle down on its own. Letting it settle down on its own. Okay, bring your feet, I went that a little bit wider there. Bring your feet to about the same distance as your hips or your shoulder part. Your feet are parallel to each other, so the same distance between the inside of the big toes, inside of the heels, and the inside of your knees as well. So again, softening your knees. I used to say bend your knees, but then people would do this all the way through, and it becomes more of a muscular activity than a sinuous, what they call the Jing power of the body in Tai Chi, really working with the biotensegrity, the elasticity of the connective tissue. So sitting down, a little bit more weight towards the rear of the feet. Divide each foot into 3 triangles. You have a triangle from the ankle to the heel to the toes, and then along the soles of the feet. And then you have a triangle, 2 triangles inside this, a triangle from the ankle to the heel to the balls of the feet, from the ankle to the balls of the feet to the toes. 3 triangles. You want to have about 70% of the weight going down through the triangles at the rear of the feet, 30% of the weight going down through the triangles at the front of the feet. Make sure you're not gripping the floor of the toes. Nice and upright. Sink the ribs to fill the lower back. Head up. Touch the tongue onto the roof of the mouth, just behind the lips, just behind the front teeth. Lips and teeth are lightly together. Your jaw is parallel to the floor. You have the feeling as if your ears being pulled back. You have a lifting feeling of your head, or a floating feeling of the head. And I will be going into more details of these postures, the postural alignments, as we go through the films. But we'll start off here. We're breathing in through the nose if you can, then out through the nose, and feel as if you're breathing into that ball that's about 3 fingers below the belly button and in the center of the body. And breathing in, raise your hands up as high as your shoulders. And breathing out, pushing out with your palms. So I'll turn to the side here, pushing out with the palms. Sink the chest, round the back. Breathing in, stretching up with your wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing up. Try and keep your hands quite high here, but breathing in, pull your elbows down, shoulders down, and push up with the head. Make sure you're not sticking the chest or the ribs up. Breathing out, bring the elbows as close together as you can get them in front of you. Sink the chest, round the back. Breathing in, pushing up onto your tiptoes. So again, my head and arms probably going out of view here, but my palms are facing up to my tiptoes. Good structure on the front triangles in the feet. Then lower yourself down. Keep the knees in line with the toes. Keep the sacrum tucked under. Keep the feet flat on the floor, weight going down through those arches in the center of the feet. If your hips go lower than your knees, you put a lot of pressure onto the knees. So breathing in, roll the wrist. Breathing out, roll the wrist. Breathing in, moving from your center, pushing down through those arches and the soles of the feet. Breathing in, bringing yourself up. And breathing out, pushing out with the palms. Sink the chest, around the back. Breathing in, stretching up the wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing down. Again, try and keep the hands quite high here, but breathing in, heavy elbows, pulling your shoulders down, pushing up. Make sure you're not sticking the chest or the ribs out. Breathing out, stretching out like you're stretching to touch the walls either side of the room. Then breathing in, imagine you're holding a big beach ball in front of you. Left palm faces down towards the right palm. Sink the chest, round the back. Breathing out, let your hands float down. Breathing in, raise your hands up as high as your shoulders. So you're moving the body with the movements of the breath. Breathing out, pushing out with your palms. Sink the chest, round the back. Breathing in, stretching up the wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing up. Again, try and keep the hands quite high here, but breathing in, heavy elbows, pushing up. Breathing out, bring the elbows as close together as you can get them. Sink the chest, round back. Breathing in, stretching up onto your tiptoes. Lengthening your spine. Again, my hands and my head are going out of view here, but stretching up. Make sure the structure's not buckling, you're not flaying the ribs out. Breathing out, lower yourself down. Lowering yourself down from that ball in the belly. Keep the connection between that ball in the belly, the very center of the feet. Try not to incline too far forwards here. Breathing in, roll the wrists. Breathing out, roll the wrists. Breathing in as if picking something up. Breathing in. And breathing out, pushing out with the palms. Sink the chest. Round the back. Breathing in, stretching up the wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing up again. Oh no, palms facing down. Breathing in, heavy elbows, pulling the shoulders down. Breathing out, stretching out like you're trying to stretch around the world in both directions. Then breathing in, imagine you're holding a big beach ball in front of you. Now with the right palm facing down towards the left palm. Sink the chest, round the back, breathing out. Let your hands face down. So you keep facing the screen here. Breathing in, raise your hands up. Breathing out, pushing out with your palms. Sink the chest. Around the back, breathing in, stretching up the wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing up. Again, heavy elbows, pulling the shoulders down. Breathing out. Bring the elbows as close together as you can get them. Sink the chest, round back, moving from that ball in the belly. Tensing, clenching, pushing up onto your tiptoes. Lengthening. And breathing out, lowering yourself down. From that tensing, that clenching in your belly, you're lowering yourself down. Feet flat on the floor, keep your knees along the toes, sitting down, make sure the lower back's not curving in. You can incline ever so slightly forwards here, but not too far. Breathing in, roll the wrists. Breathing out, roll the wrists. Breathing in as if picking something up. Moving from your center, everything moving together. Breathing in. Breathing out, pushing out with the palms. Sink the chest, round the back. Breathing in, stretching up the wrists. Breathing out, arms out to the sides of the body, palms facing down. Breathing in, heavy elbows. Breathing out, stretching out. And breathing in. Left palm faces down towards the right palm. Sink the chest, around the back. Breathing out, let your hands float down. Breathing in. And breathing out. In. Out. Breathing in. Out. In. Out, lowering yourself down from your center, breathing out, nice and controlled, good structure. Breathing in and out, in and out. in, out, in, out. Breathing in. Right palm faces down towards left palm. And breathing out. We'll do one more. Breathing in. Hopefully you're feeling the whole body move together. And we are working towards that with our Tai Chi. Getting the whole body to move together. Breathing in as a complete coordinated unit. Everything connected. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lowering yourself down from your center. Keep a connection between the very center of the feet. Ball in the belly. Breathing in, roll the wrists. Breathing out, roll the wrists. Breathing in, just picking something up. Keep your head up. Keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Breathing in. And out. Move around. Head up as if suspended from above. Put your mind into that ball in the belly. It's like clenching, tensing, like you're holding in a bit of flatulence. And just start to turn your waist. So loosening up. Turning. Still keep the knees along the toes, feet flat on the floor. Hopefully feeling more whole body connectedness after doing the Dao Yin stretches there. Keep your head up. Keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Turning your waist. Feet stay flat on the floor. Feet stay flat on the floor, but you feel the weight of the body shifting around on the soles of the feet. And we have those 3 triangles, and we have pretty much three points of contact with the soles of the soles of the feet on the floor. We have the 2 balls behind the toes and the ball at the heel. You want the ball at the heel. You want to keep the weight of the body dropping down through these 3 points of contact all the time as we're doing this. We feel the weight of the body shifting around on the soles of the feet. Moving from your center, moving through this area, not from this area, moving through here nice and freely, feeling the elasticity of your pelvic area, your pelvic area, your hips, inguinal crease. And your arms are just moving away from the body because of the force coming out from your center. Turning, turning, turning. Make sure the knees aren't going too far forwards. Still feel like you're sitting down, head up. Everything's just moving because you're turning from your center. And then just let that settle down. I always like to do a little bit of something softer, like waist turning, after doing something that is more, I suppose, demanding, like stretching we did there. Okay, so that's all I've got for now. So just rub your hands, rub your belly, rub anything that might be a little bit sore after doing the stretches there. And I will say goodbye for now. So goodbye for now.